Let's go back to the Greeks for a second.
Sure.
And Aristotle made a point that voice and breath have an immediate relationship with the mind, and
Yes.
that reflects the divine logos. He says that the origin of language is located in speech, which symbolizes the clear mental reflection of the divine. Now, here is where the break comes. And I'm going to read you a quote from Jacques Derrida. This is from his text on grammatology, which represents a clear break with most of the previous Western thinking about speech and logos. He says, "The beginning word is understood in the intimacy of self-presence as the voice of the other and as commandment." What this is indicating is an exteriority of speech, that speech exists on the outside and is reflected or enters into man to become an interior act. And that interior act can be further reflected in perception. But you see, this point of view of Derrida breaks with everything that the Greeks are saying and that Kailash has commented on, and directly reflects the thinking of Bhartrihari. So Bhartrihari is coming from a different place. He is talking about the beginningless nature of language. He's talking about its pregnant quality. In other words, that in the most pristine aspect of speech, what he does call the Shabda Tattva, the speech principle, which he relates directly to Brahman. This speech principle, although it's undifferentiated, it's whole, it cannot be fragmented, still within it contains the potential and the potency for its full manifestation and its diverse manifestation. And Bhartrihari is taking a step away from the ultimate meaning of the word. The very title of his great text, Vakya Padya, Vakya is sentence. And Bhartrihari goes on to say that the irreducible, that the akhanda, the irreducible element of meaning, actually of language itself, is not in the word, but it's in the sentence. This is where meaning comes from. And he'll go further to say that if you should take a sentence and break it up into all the constituent parts, meaning the grammatical aspects, the morphological aspects in terms of the changing words, the phonetic aspects, the semantic aspects, all the aspects, you take the sum total of all the parts of the sentence, these are not sufficient enough to express meaning. The sum of all the parts is not enough to express meaning. There is something else that must enter into the picture for us to have meaning from all of this. Bhartrihari uses three big images in his Vakyapadiya. He talks about the yolk of the peacock egg, an indivisible, unicolor entity, and from that unicolor entity arises the peacock with all the colors of the world in his or her tail. That is the first major image of Bhartrihari. Then he talks about the water wheel. The water wheel being this thing that lifts the water, that pushes the water, and in this sense, there is an element of time and sequence. And it's actually this time, this sequencing, who is the midwife of this pregnant aspect of the Shabda Tattva, of the word principle. That it's time that causes the birth of meaning through its sequencing, and in this way the Kalayati becomes Kala, time, and it's this time which is also in potential within the word principle, the Shabda Tattva, and the Shabda Brahman as well, that it exists in potential as a pregnancy, as it were, according to Bhartrihari. The third of these big images that Bhartrihari uses is the image of illumination, spota. Spota is one of the expressions that Bhartrihari uses, that was also used by Patanjali and Panini. But Bhartrihari takes it to a whole new level. Spota comes from sput, which means to burst open, to bloom, as in a plant, to shine, to illuminate, and this is what Bhartrihari uses to talk about the arrival, as it were, of meaning in a sentence. So we saw how the sentence has the grammar, it has the phonetics, the morphology, the words, but that is not enough. It is this illuminating, this bursting forward, of bursting out of understanding and meaning, which delivers the meaning of a sentence. And there are two parties, obviously, to the meaning of a sentence and this spota.